Garen, obviously a lot of the combinations have been sort of pinpointed as problem areas, particularly at halfback, for example. But it seems like some of the Boks rule traditional strengths, as Rob mentioned, like defence, were just a mess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talking about traditional strength, the rolling maul, I think after a few games ago, Victor Matfield in the Supersport studio said, he didn't recall seeing one in the match. I don't think there might have been one last Saturday as well. They seem to have totally forgotten that, or trying to play a completely different game that they're just not accustomed to. When you would think that the odd rolling maul might just spark this is how we play rugby, and give them some sort of go forward ball and momentum and the like. But on defence, that New Zealanders, that they're not even a team that really go through the phases. You never see them going up to 20, 25 phases. They seem to create the space and the gap and uncertainty on defence within like 4 or 5 phases. They can almost score from first phase ball, and they did that a couple of times on Saturday. The Boks it's a strange thing to actually watch, and it sounds like a strange thing to say, but to watch them, how when they've got the ball, they go backwards at a rate of knot and then they never get over the advantage line. Whereas the All Blacks, if they don't get over the advantage line, something's gone horribly wrong. It's amazing how they either take the ball so flat compared to us, they're not scared, they create gaps, they're just bigger, more physical, they get over the advantage line. Elton Jantjies, he put in some good defensive work, but it was never sort of like stopping the player from getting over the advantage line. They were still going ahead, they were still rumbling forward. Whereas I think Justin Marshall made mention of the fact we had a line out on our own 10-metre line, and before we knew it, we were in our own 22, having not lost possession, we were just going backwards and shifting the ball sideways rather than going forward. So a lot to learn. Sean Roux, the defence coach, I'm not too sure what he actually knows about defence coach. I don't know how much work he's actually done on as a defence coach before. I think there are a lot in the management, looking at the Sport 24 readers, they're calling for complete change at management level. I think they sort of feel that the fish is rotting from the head up, or head down rather. So, already calling 7 games into Alistair Coetzee's reign for him to perhaps go. I don't think everyone really knows who else is involved in terms of defense, forwards coach, backline coach, kicking coach, the like that. So, a lot of problems. I'm not even sure where this solves itself. We've got 2 tough games against Australia, who suddenly resurgent, won 2 in a row. Look like they actually know what they're doing at the moment. And then obviously the finishing off against the All Blacks in Durban. Don't see how we turn that around in 3 weeks.
By which stage the All Blacks will probably have won the title.
They already won the title, so yeah. I mean, it's this is, I don't want to say it's a dead rubber, because you never get a dead rubber against the All Black side, but I don't see how South Africa can turn it around. I think it's going to be a massive statement for New Zealand to come into South Africa, play at Durban, which is not sort of like a hotbed of South African rugby. Not at altitude, we don't have that advantage at all, and then beat us, and at the moment it looks like fairly convincingly. I mean, the All Blacks, I don't think they even got out of sort of second gear on Saturday. In the first half, the only reason I felt that the score was close was that they weren't that accurate. They came close to scoring a couple of tries, just giving away the odd knock-on or penalty to deny them, whereas South Africa scored either a try or a penalty with almost every time they were in the red zone, the New Zealand 22. So we got as much as we could possibly have got out of that first half. Whereas I felt the All Blacks, with a bit more luck, could have had 2 or 3 more tries, and then the scoreline may well have really blown out to something really, really embarrassing. But 28 points is still the hiding in anyone's book.